Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2, Retribution, and Red-Rupee here with you, calling the shots for you today. And as you can see, we're hanging out up on a hill looking down into the valley of Calderas Refinery. A nice nighttime map with that dark purple sky in it. I like this shot. You can really feel like it's nighttime, seeing the floodlights shining down and the beacon of the victory points, the utility lights around the wreck and the central VP there. Cool looking map. I enjoyed it a lot, and of course the Pit o' Death in the center that I'm such a big fan of. Anyways, let's go ahead and introduce our players on the red team, Team GHG today. We have Swat858 as our green and yellow warp spider commander, and then Mr. Gpipe as our chaos sorcerer. So we're going to probably have two teleporting harassment support heroes coming from the red team. And on the blue team, we have Mr. Pottah X, who's normally leading the front lines with the Eldar forces of the Farseer, but today he's running the Imperial Guard Gambit, and Mr. Locklear as our Tech Marine. And so that's going to be two teleporting harass heroes and two strong ranged heroes, respectively, for the red and blue teams here. So Calderas Refinery, a pretty fun 2-on-2 map. Interesting, I thought that if you look at the map, normally the map kind of makes you choose at the beginning whether you want to push that extra power node or two or push the VPs. And on this map, if you look, you see you have all your power right around your first natural VP that's kind of just yours to defend. So both players have, both teams rather, have these three power nodes right around their VP, so as opposed to some other maps where it tends to shift focus about mid to late game from holding resources to holding VPs, this map kind of maintains the same battlefronts throughout the gameplay here. So anyways, we're seeing the first little engagement over here. Sorcerer loosing a few Doom Blasts, not really hitting anything, and it looks like the War Spider's engaged as well over here with a Sentinel. Of course, Eldar versus IG, this early game matchup tends to be a little bit in the favor of IG because Eldar just have a really hard time dealing with these early Sentinel pushes. And right now, the Warp Spider got kind of stunned and knocked right in front of a bunch of Guardsmen, so he has to fall back, took a little bit too much damage. Guardsmen falling back too, and that's the problem, is that you really can't just hang out in front of anything too long with Eldar because you're going to take model losses, and the Eldar models are just so expensive and beat so easily. So Pottah gets that first initial push, does a great job with that. Looks like we just have a set of Chaos Marines and Tactical Marines hiding behind green cover and trying to stall each other out up here till they get an advantage upon one another. And down bottom, oh man, it looks like Pottah's gone ahead and set up an Imperial Guard las turret right on top of Swat's natural power farm, so that's not good at all. He's probably going to be able to break that node and then get a decap as well, putting the red team a little bit behind on power, because if you look on the main map, you can see a couple of generators have been dropped for the blue team already. In the meantime, Swat's making a pretty good decision, probably choosing not to engage that, wait till he gets a little more support and a better position. And we can see Gpipe's gone ahead and done the 2 CSM build. Swat's gotten himself a Shuriken cannon, which is coming onto the field. I'm not sure what he's going to use that for. And look at the position of this. You can actually see it will be able to fire through this rock structure right here. You can leave those a little further back and use that to fire at anything that's on your power node right here, because this actually lets you continue to have line of sight a little further than you would expect. Those Guardsmen in a lot of trouble, retreating through a bunch of Banshees, but it looks like they're going to be able to get out of there. That Shuriken actually needs to fall back. He's going to be able to destroy that last turret, but the Shuriken's still taking fire. No, and there goes the Shuriken. A bitter early loss for Mr. Swat. Right now, Locklear's pushing back. Push both of those groups of CSM. Those scouts with shotguns and grenades were not messing around. Didn't want to lose any expensive models. A nice-looking long-range Doom Blast from, or Doom Bolt, rather, from the Chaos Sorcerer, doing a lot of damage to that scouts and taking out a model as well. Looks like the Sentinel's going to go down. Oh, no! Banshees take it out with one last shot of their little Shuriken pistols right there, and kind of evens out that quick Shuriken loss. So Pottah is not hurting too bad. He's going to be bringing some catechins to the front line here to cause some serious Eldar hurt. There goes the old reliable, just barely saving that power node right there. Those Guardians need to fall back, though. They are not going to be able to stand up to any kind of firepower at all right now. Don't have any battle equipment or anything along those lines.
Upgrades are complete here.
Warp Spider has gone down, but it looks like the Sorcerer's there to pick him back up.
We have an edge for now.
I'll get to that
And,
next.
oh man, there goes the first of the improvised explosives, so always keep an eye on those. Whenever you see catechins on the field, it's generally a good idea to get some sort of detection. SWAT's opting for a second Shuriken Cannon team, but I think it would be better to get himself a set of Rangers right now, because these explosives can really cause some hurt to Eldar squads. It's not uncommon for them to take out 3 or 4 models whenever a squad's sitting on top of those right here. So, scouts upgraded with all kinds of stuff. You have the infiltration, shotguns, sergeants. They're just decked out right here. And big ranged battle facing off right now. Shotguns go off, and that was a little bit too brazen probably. Maybe he didn't see those catechins hanging out in the back, because they can add a lot of firepower, a lot of ranged DPS to any kind of incoming melee attack. So attacks are going to get pushed off. Let's see how SWAT's doing on the bottom side of the map. 2 Shurikens up. Gonna really push this center point here. Not gonna be too much they can do against the double Shuriken right now. Pottah does have the catechins on the field, but as soon as one gets knocked down, the other can readjust and push forward. So Pottah really needs to probably get a 3rd squad onto the field right now. You can see the red team is actually not looking too good in VPs. They got that early pushback, so they lost about 200 VPs right out of the gate, which is putting them on the back foot and forcing them to play a lot more offensively now than they would otherwise have to. Luckily, they do have the squad and field advantage right now, so those catechins get forced off, and Pottah really just has nothing on the field. But the good part about that is that he's just teching straight into Tier 2 already. But the red team really needs to focus on these VPs. It's already 200 down, and now it's a 2-0 cap. They're going to be able to try to get this center point here in a second, but it looks like they're still getting pretty consistently pushed back. Pottah's just kind of running around with Locklear right now, and just using his Lord General to add to that ranged DPS pile that we're seeing right there. Of course, he does have that Sergeant upgrade. You can see him right there. And that guy just has such excellent synergy with Space Marine units, because it pretty much gives you free heals, kind of like having an apothecary on the field, because you can just constantly be handing out those med packs and keep that Space Marine field presence strong. So both of the blue team going into Tier 2. Red team has Mr. Gpipe heading up there. Swat spent a bit more power. He's obviously bought 3 Shuriken cannons so far, not to mention battle equipment. No upgrade on his Banshees yet for the Aspect Warriors. But he's still floating all kinds of wreck. Looks like both teams have all their natural power nodes up. We even popped the node over there. But right now, red team's just trying to vie for some map control here.
Use your cover, man.
So catechins running around the back line, trying to get some harassment in. These Guardians in a lot of trouble right now. You don't want to retreat to those catechins. They will melee you right off the map.
I hear you.
And you can see Swat just trying to play defensively and dance around these Shuriken emplacements while he tries to trap Pottah in a nasty spot right now. Although we can see Locklear, of course, working in cahoots with Pottah right now, has some stealth scouts going in to drop a grenade on that Shuriken platform, and oh, very nice looking shot there. The Shuriken's going to retreat, but it looks like it's heading straight for this catechin squad. That's not going to be good at all. Oh no, and that's another Shuriken down. 2 Shurikens. Oh, and a Guardian squad as well. Wow. Excellent team play right there. Worked out perfectly. Pottah was just waiting in the retreat path. Of course, he's Tier 2 now. Has a Chimera coming up to the field. Drops the health pack right away on those catechins. They are going to have to retreat, though. They can't take that kind of fire, and they did get suppressed by a Doom Blast. And here comes the Chimera to the rescue. Those guardsmen will just be able to reinforce or hop inside that Chimera, and there's nothing on the field that the red team has that can deal with that right now. So it is just going to kite around, pour some fire into the various squads, and fall back. So, oh man, a couple nice looking Tech Marine mines almost take out that first squad of Bloodletters, which I think teleported in a bit prematurely and got caught out of position by a Devastator. But a couple excellent plays by Blue Team are leaving SWAT pretty hurt for any kind of field presence, down to just a squad of Banshees and a lone Shuriken cannon. But they really need to get something on the field that can deal with this Chimera, because otherwise it's just going to roll around, harass, and with those Plasma Guardsmen probably cause quite a bit of trouble for all these Chaos Space Marines over here. But it looks like Locklear is bringing a Plasma Dev onto the field as well, which is excellent ranged counter. A lot of people think, oh, well, there's two squads of Chaos Space Marines, I'll get a suppression team to deal with that. And once those get upgraded in Tier 2 to Siege Marines, even a Devastator oftentimes will not be able to suppress them in time to prevent themselves from losing squad members. So really, remember that suppression is more of a melee counter than a range counter, and artillery is going to be your primary range counter as far as that goes. So Pottah bringing on a Manticore as well, so really with the Plasma Dev and Manticore, the Blue Team is focusing on all kinds of anti-blob, really trying to make sure those double Space Marines can't do too much. This Chimera is way out of position over here, though. Oh no, here comes Warp Spiders with a Haywire Grenade. Banshee's gonna start pouring some shots into that. With that X-Arc, that Chimera is just gonna go down without any question at all. And now these Guardsmen have to retreat through everything. There goes some Dark Flame there as well. And good play. Good counter push right here. It looks like those Guardsmen might go down to the Warp Spiders, but they just barely survive with 40 HP. Burning Catechins and Lord General also falling back. Manticore, Intimidation Shot, not really hitting too much, but certainly forcing off these Heretics, which were now out of position against all this range fire of the Tech Marine army from Locklear. So lots of stuff on the field. Here comes an Altark drop right on top of that Devastator. And oh man, it looks like it might be able to get out of there. She's jumping in to try to get a shot or two off on that. She might be able to do it. She's extremely fast, but decides to go ahead and focus on the Plasma Dev. If she'd used a leap right there, she probably could have finished off that Devastator. But apparently the priority was taking out this Plasma Devastator. Anyways, 457 to 161. Again, the red team, despite having two relatively quick heroes, just not being able to stand up to the Tech Marine and Lord General ranged firepower right now. And we have Locklear and Gpipe both heading into Tier 3. The red team's going to really have to play tight and watch these VPs to stay in the game here. I'm not sure what their plan is to try to get some map control back. They have a pretty reasonable army. Swat's built himself back up, and after Pottah taking a couple big losses there, he's not looking too good himself. Pottah has brought a second Chimera onto the field now, and you really want that with Imperial Guard, especially when you have an infantry-heavy army like this. Good use of the summary execution to retreat away from those Banshees, then turn around and open fire in a better spot, and the whole squad goes down. Wow, excellent play there by Pottah. SWAT loses yet another squad, though. SWAT is really going to have to be careful. Taking these losses, a couple squads you can come back from, but really if he loses much more at this point without incurring some much more resource-intensive losses on the blue team, is going to be out of luck. Oh, excellent use. After seeing that Manticore strike, you can see Gpipe was scouting around back with these Bloodletters. And now the blue team's desperately trying to move in. Oh, and the Chimera cuts in, forces off the Bloodletters. Excellent play. Use of that vehicle pathing by Mr. Pottah. Oh, but an Altark drops in and destroys the Manticore. Wow. Excellent play by SWAT. Obviously, Sky let that Altark back up out of there, and just using that Altark as kind of a secondary artillery strike. That's the second Altark drop we've seen already, and it definitely worked out. Took out that first Manticore. Pottah's going to build himself another one. But really, at this point, you have to be very careful, because with those Bloodletters on the field at any given time, if they teleport in, that Manticore is pretty much going to be dead where it sits. So Pottah's going to have to really keep track of those. Can't let that happen again. Those manticores are expensive. And in the meantime, the Lord General upgrading with his sniper rifle, going to give himself even more ranged firepower right there. Sneaky scouts coming in again, trying to get yet another grenade off on this shuriken cannon. And you can see they are all in a nice little pile right there. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. He must have gotten distracted elsewhere. War Spire's coming in, but just falling right into a giant pile of fire right here. But that haywire grenade was exactly what he was looking for, because the Wraith Guards that are on the field now came in and finished off that Chimera without any issue.
We are winning this one, sir.
Of course, they need to be very careful. Oh no, a Plasma Dev just annihilates their Warlock, stuns the whole squad, and nothing is left. The whole squad has to retreat and get out of there. But with that vehicle down, you can see Mr. Gpipe's gone ahead, gotten his melee forces up behind Locklear, and that's a very daunting position for Locklear to be in right now. Fortunately, there's a lot of anti-melee support. You can see the scout shotguns, the Catachin shotgun knockback as well, so they managed to really prevent themselves from taking too much loss right there. So Gpipe tried to get a nice little flank in there, but they were a bit too well prepared. Good play there, good teamwork. And once again, blue team will be retaining the center VP. So really that seems to be what it's going to be coming down to. Despite having the Warp Spider, we haven't really seen SWAT using that harassment potential and teleporting around and backcapping much of the map at this point. With everyone heading into Tier 3, you can see Gpipe went a little light Tier 2, which is questionable because Chaos does have that notoriously powerful Tier 2 with Bloodletters, Shrines, Blood Crushers, and all their various other upgrades. But we're going to have to see how this plays out. Gpipe's going straight for that Guo. Meanwhile, Pottah's going Tier 3. Locklear has a Predator coming out onto the field any moment now, and SWAT's hitting Tier 3 as well. So all's kind of quiet right now. Plasma Dev getting off a couple starting shots right here on that Shuriken cannon, but has to fall back. Doesn't want to get caught out of position with those Warp Spiders right now. And the blue team's really just kind of sticking around together. Sorcerer's using some good shots here. Those CSM need to get out of there, though. Oh, an excellent looking grenade, and wow! Just took out a bunch of Chaos models. It looks like the Catachins might actually be able to finish those off. There goes one, and the shotguns finish off the other. Wow, what a play by the blue team right there. The Predator poured a couple shots into those CSM, an excellent retreat grenade, and then those Catachins moved perfectly into position to finish off those two last models. So that's a huge loss for Gpipe. He does have the Guo on the field, but there's not too much else that he can really contribute right now. And that's kind of been the red team's problem, is that they've kind of been hitting one at a time against the blue team. You can see the Altar sky leaping back out, so I'm sure we'll be expecting to see once again an artillery strike with that Altar drop right here. Oh man, a brutal shot from those Wraith Guards, just obliterating all those Space Marines. Oh no, and here comes the Altark drop right now. Oh man, and you know what? That was perfectly timed, but just a little more south than it needed to be. If he had positioned that right, I'm pretty sure that tactical Marine squad would have gone down right here. 448 to 100. The red team's still just on the back end right here, really trying to pull it out. Pottah's floating a crazy amount of resource. He must be holding out for a Baneblade at this point. Locklear has a full contingent though, has some scouts, Plasma Dev, Librarian now on the field as well to kind of support that. And that's the thing that the red team's going to have trouble with, is that now that they don't have this central VP, that Manticore is really going to be able to prevent any kind of victory point capping throughout the game here. That's one of its best assets late game, is that it really just prevents caps. So we can see this Guo kind of hanging out just stealth here. I'm not sure what Mr. Gpipe's waiting on to try to get that in, if he's waiting for an opportune time to use one of his abilities or what. But of course, if those scouts or Catachins move in, they're just going to spot it again anyways. And there it is. It looks like he's going to do a little Guo vomit right there and scares off that Librarian, prevents the cap once again. And it's just a big kind of firing line between the two sides. But that Shuriken needs to get out of there. You can see that Manticore striking once again, forcing off those platforms right now. And both two more players now purchasing themselves some top tier super units. We got the Baneblade and the Avatar both coming onto the field from Mr. Pottah and Swat respectively.
We bring death to our enemies.
And right now, just a little bit of harassment going on while the blue team and red team kind of hold out to get their forces onto the field. We've got a call-in coming in from Mr. Locklear. Some Terminators now on the field. Those bright blue and red Terminators that from Locklear's current color scheme right there on the Space Marine side of things. Avatar now heading in there, but going to be taking a lot of fire. You really, of course, people get these super units and just charge them. You really have to be careful when you do that. You really want to make sure you have some support. And here comes an excellent looking Wailing Doom. And oh man, look at the bits everywhere. You can see lots of guardsmen down, spread out, launched all over the place. It looks like that Shuriken Cannon's in a lot of trouble, has to fall back. Looks like Swat does prevent his last Shuriken from going down. Here comes that Artark drop yet again, scaring off that Plasma Dev, not quite taking it out. But Red making an excellent push here with these two super units. They're going to have to be very careful not to lose them though. There are two squads of Bloodletters on the field. Really should use them to try to take out that tank, I think. That tank's really what's pouring most of the damage in on these super units. But now it looks like the Baneblade is going to finish off this great unclean one. And there it goes. Avatar managed to get out of there, but that duo is down. And the red team just doesn't have the forces to support those kind of things right now. There comes a Devastator shot in from that Baneblade. The red team manages to take the hit and does get the cap. But now with these two heavy tanks coming in right now, you can see that Las Predator upgraded with its armor and everything, and of course the giant Baneblade also. They really need to try to drop one of these vehicles, maybe get some more AV onto the field. You can see Gpipe getting himself some Noise Marines, I guess, going to try to get a Blastmaster upgrade and have some artillery of their own, because the red team's really just trying to ensconce himself in back here. You can see they've set up a bunker, which I'm sure we'll see upgraded to a repair bunker. And now we're going to have this Plasma Dev back here as well.
You know
So the red team's just kind of sitting on the VPs, 57 to 429. The red team really doesn't have much of a chance to come back here. They both have sizable armies, but they just need to get out there and push back the VPs. Pottah doesn't actually have that much on the... Of course he has the Baneblade, but other than that, he's just got a squad of guardsmen and Catachans. It's really Locklear that has a lot of the field presence right now, with the Terminators, Tax, and the two scout squads. That Avatar's rushing in there probably a bit prematurely. There's still a lot out there. I'm not sure why he's pushing so hard to get that Avatar. This Wailing Doom might cost them the Avatar. I'm not sure what these Manticore's doing way up on the front lines. Pottah may have accidentally selected that, but I think that needs to get the heck out of there. It is worth noting that, of course, whenever the Manticore fires at minimum range, that its rockets drop almost immediately. But it's not worth risking that Manticore that close, especially when there's two squads of Bloodletters on the field. So here's a Fire Prism on the field for Mr. Swat858. Oh no! A Shuriken just got obliterated by another Baneblade shot right there. But these Fire Prisms and Noise Marines are going to be crucial if the red team wishes to win the game, because the great thing about these is that they constantly knock over units. So we're going to be able to, we're going to see just, I mean, you're seeing the Tech Marine trying to capture that point, but between the Fire Prism and the Noise Marines, he's never going to get it. Two Bloodletters teleporting in on these Tactical Marines. They're in a lot of trouble right now. They might go down, actually. It looks like that Sergeant might be far enough away to go ahead and get out of there. But the Manticore's in a lot of trouble. Just dropped a nice looking Manticore strike, but these Bloodletters are just going to take it out without even breaking a sweat. But now the only problem is that there's a Baneblade and a Las Pred and some Terminators all firing in on those Bloodletters. They have to get out of there. But on the plus side, the red team has a 2-0 cap against the blues. Pottah sitting once again on just a huge pile of resources. He's already got a Baneblade out. I'm not sure what he's saving up for. Swat's purchasing a second Fire Prism. And if they can defend those tanks, that'll actually buy them tons of time to try to get these VPs in their favor and keep the enemy from capturing them. I really think, though, that if he gets 2 fire prisms, he should set 1 to focus beam and just start harassing that predator back there. Because that las pred has really just been a thorn in their side since it's come onto the field. We're seeing another call-in. A drop pod. Does it contain a Vendred? Yes, it does! You can see the Avatar activating its Wrath of Corn right there, but not going to do too much. I'm not sure if these fire prisms are set back to focus beam, but they definitely need to be. Yeah, there they go, and now we're seeing 2 squads of Bloodletters all kind of converging on top of this Venerable Dreadnought, but a creeping Basilisk barrage knocking back all those supporting platforms, and the Avatar is left defenseless. All of its supporting army got knocked back. Excellent play by Pottah, dropping that creeping barrage right there. These 2 fire prisms looks like they're probably going to be able to finish off that Venerable Dreadnought. One more shot, I think, and it's going to go down. But both Swat and Pottah having not much on the field. Of course, Gpipe has the 2 Bloodletter squads, but it's not really doing too much. They really, after Gpipe lost those 2 squads of CSM, he kind of lost the meat of his army right here. These fire prisms also getting very beat up. Wow! Look at that fire prism! 1 HP after taking that shot from the las pred. That's very fortunate for Swat. Swat should probably buy some Guardians at this point. It's definitely going to be worth trying to keep these fire prisms on the field. And you really want to get that repair option out there. So Pottah's claiming he has some sort of amazing strat right here. Apparently that's what he's saving up all this resource for. He's even informing Locklear not to capture the points. Locklear kind of ignored him and captured it anyways. Pottah thinks it's a safe bet either way. But now pushing up, you can see the Lord General upgraded with all kinds of supporting members in his retinue. And the Sorcerer back here kind of just waiting to get his Bloodletters into some battles right now. Both players just kind of stood off right now. Neither side can really push the other without incurring some serious losses. And Red Team is just cannot risk losing anything more. So, I don't know, everything's quiet right now. You can kind of see the 2 lines just facing off right here. And, I don't know, here we go, 365 to 19. You can see an aspiring champion kind of derping out over here, dancing in the middle of the prayer circle right there. But all is quiet. The air is thick with anticipation and everything. I don't know. We're gonna have to see where this is going. Pottah's building himself a Chimera. The red team knows it can't really approach. I honestly think, if nothing else, Swat should get himself just a couple Bright Lances. Look at all the resource Swat has. I'm not sure if he's saving up to purchase another Avatar or what, but an Avatar is really not going to do too much against these tanks right here. I think a couple Bright Lances would be great. Just set those up in different positions so they can't get hit by any one thing and just start pouring fire into these various vehicles, because that's really what's keeping the blue team on the field is those heavy vehicles. The Predator, Baneblade, and of course this Venerable Dread now as well. So Chimera coming back onto the field, going to be able to reinforce and push around on the back line there. It looks like it's going up and around, not coming to the center here. I'm not sure what he's intending to do. Close Scout's actually just standing just outside of the view range of everything in the red army, so you can see the blue scouted ahead, knows what the red team has, make sure they're not planning anything tricky. And Locklear is telling, or rather Pottah's telling Locklear to go in and bait the red army. I'm not sure what he's going for right now, but it looks like he's trying to get his Chimera up behind and do something. Tech Marine's going to go ahead and tank the front line with that awesome Refractor Field, one of the strongest shields in the game, and try to take that center VP. All the blue team vehicles finally pushing up after this long stalemate around the center VP. The blue team is so close to victory, but oh no, there goes the Librarian getting subjugated by the Sorcerer after losing that that force barrier. And oh, what's going on up here? Oh no, Pottah finally unleashing his master plan, and it looks like he just dropped 5 heavy turrets right on top of Gpipe's base, automatically just obliterating that first heavy bolter turret, taking out the second one. Looks like he's actually going for a base kill. All of a sudden, the red team has to fall back from the front lines, and Tech Marine's still trying to take that center point. But Bloodletter's coming in, and it looks like they're going to make short work of those turrets. Pottah going for a bit of a gamble right here, not hesitating to just blast all those resources and drop 5 heavy turrets right in the middle of the base. That Chimera actually had a reasonable force in it. I think if he had tried to open fire on those Bloodletters a little sooner, he may have been able to just save 1 or 2 of those turrets. In the meantime, the blue team is going to go ahead and try to capture that VP. Locklear's ignored the instructions of his ally and wants to win the game. Pottah got to do his master strategy, and the red team is now looking at a pretty precarious position as the last Wraith Guard looks like it's in a lot of trouble from that Dreadnought, and everything else getting pushed back. In the meantime, these 2 Fire Prisms did an excellent job of kiting around and destroying this venerable Dreadnought, but this Fire Prism looks like it's in a lot of trouble. That Predator looks like it's going to be able to take out both of them right now. But one of the Fire Prisms goes down, the other is still firing away on that Predator. Guo's moving in, Avatar on the field again, so both super units back on the field for the red team, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're down to 11 points, and it's a 2-0 cap. Looks like they might get this decap in the center here. But Pottah just fielding no units for the sake of that turret gambit. Oh no, the 2 Bloodletters move in behind this tank, and that thing's going to be going down. Finally, that Predator is off of the field, and the Baneblade goes down as well. Oh man, that actually might be a pretty bad spot for the blue team to be in, because without those 2 heavy vehicles, I really think the red team might be able to hold on for a bit longer. It's a 2-0 cap actually against the blue team, so these VPs might be ticking down a lot quicker than anticipated. I actually thought the red team was pretty much out of it here a second ago. Pottah tried to pull them back with that base gambit, but the front line kind of suffered because of it. Pottah was focused on microing his turrets around in that army up there and lost his Baneblade. And a nice double teleport by those Bloodletters, finishing off that last break. So another Chimera on the field for Mr. Pottah. Once again, he's saving up tons of resource, might be saving up for a second Baneblade, unless he wants to drop 5 more turrets again in an opponent's base. Avatar just charging right into the middle here. Dark Flames going down, and a Wailing Doom forcing off. Oh man, blue Space Marines just flying all over the place. Nice use of the Librarian support there, always good. Once you get those Terminators on the field in a late game situation like this, you really need to have that Librarian, because you need to be able to teleport them out of trouble, or hit the Veil of Time and get them, you know, just get them in the clear. So Swat now has no capping units on the field except for his War Spider, building a 3rd Fire Prism with 2 Bloodletter squadrons teleporting around, trying to cause some hurt, but they're really too frail to do anything on their own. When you have Bloodletters on the field against a lot of ranged stuff, you really need just something else there to take shots, and of course, Gpipe rather lost both of his Chaos Space Marines early in the game. Gpipe now purchasing a Predator of his own, and we're just going to have a lot of vehicles on the field. Both players really need to focus at this point on dealing with the vehicles and larger units in the game. Red team getting the blue team down under 300 VPs finally, trying to keep that, oh nice, warp in by the Warp Spider and a special attack on the Tech Marine, keeping him off of that point. That probably actually bought enough time. Yes, here comes a Fire Prism to knock him off that point, and the Avatar is just going to beat up on him while he tries to get the cap. Unfortunately, the red team once again using these super units a bit too aggressively, finding that Gua out of position against a Predator and a Plasma Dev. And despite finally taking out that Laspred, Locklear once again able to bring it right back onto the field. Oh no, it looks like Pottah's going for another play like that. Chimera was trying to sneak back into his base, but got caught out of position between a Predator and 2 squads of Bloodletters in duo. Pottah has to fall back from that. I think he was probably going to try to drop some more turrets into Mr. Gpipe's base, but it didn't work out for him because he hasn't purchased himself a Bane Blade or anything yet he has so much resource to do so. So man, these fire prisms actually exacerbating the situation for the blue team. Blue team lost some big vehicles, and now they're just not able to capture these VPs back. All they need to do is get one little cap here, but with 3 fire prisms on the field, now D-Cannon, Blastmaster, Noise Marines, just a huge firing line of artillery and heavy vehicle platforms all over the place. It's going to be interesting to see how blue deals with this. I'm not sure what Pottah is planning to do here. Still trying to do something tricky. He bought another Chimera, loaded his army up, probably going to try. I think his master plan is just to drop more heavy turrets all over the place. And honestly, if he did it in the middle, it might work out pretty well, because all those heavy turrets would make short work of these tanks and fire prisms up here on the front line. They just need something to distract for a little while while they build. But we'll see what he does. Blue team finally deciding let's cap, but honestly I think they've been trying to cap. I'm pretty sure Locklear's been trying to do this for a while, but he just can't against all this knockback. Red team is actually exactly where he wants to be. Oh no, here goes Pottah's Chimera into the rear lines again, and yeah, here comes the turrets for a second time. Going for the pragmatic approach, not hesitating to just throw all his resources away. And man, here comes 5 more heavy turrets onto the field. Chimera actually looks like, oh no, it doesn't get out of there because that fire prism fires a shot right into its rear armor. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turrets now in the enemy base. That Avatar actually probably can't even approach this, because if it did, it would go down. It might actually go down anyways with all this plasma and catechins firing into it right now. Grabbing 1 lone guardsman, but that is not going to be worth it, because down goes that Avatar. And now the 5 turrets have free reign to fire into Mr. Swat's base right here. Looking back into the center, we can see there's a lot going on. Looks like that Laspred chased that Gua way back into its base to finish it off, but now it's in a nasty spot. I doubt it's getting out of there. It's between a Fire Prism and a Chaos Predator. Although that Fire Prism needs to be careful. I wasn't sure if it was too close to that Gua explosion right there. Looking back over here, wow, these 5 turrets are actually taking out this base pretty quickly. That's going to be it for Swat. Swat's not going to be able to build anything more at this point in the game if he doesn't stop that. And it doesn't look like he's going to. Another Vendread comes onto the field, but it's between a bunch of tanks. It's not really going to do anything. We can see as soon as it got dropped, it's just going to go right back down again. And Warp Spider came in, dropped a phase shift, but all that did was delay the inevitable. Almost got enough time for these Bloodletters to come in and save the base. But there goes the last shot, and you don't see that very often. There goes the Eldar Webway Assembly, phasing out right there into nothingness. So the blue team is actually down to just 130 points. The red team's been doing a good job of defending these VPs while Pottah just kind of runs around and tries to base destroy. But I think that's going to be it for the blue team. There's really not too much they can do. Locklear sacrificed pretty much everything trying to take those points. And Pottah is down to next to nothing himself. They did destroy one of the enemy's bases, but I don't think he can actually get rid of these and move them anymore. So all they need to do is destroy this last Chaos Temple, but I don't think there's any way they can approach it with 3 Fire Prisms, a Guo, and a Chaos Predator onto the field. But wow, interesting strategy. If that first drop had worked and they had destroyed this Chaos base, I mean, the game would be won already. Of course, they could have tried a little bit harder to just capture the middle point. Locklear was trying his heart out while Pottah kind of ran around and did his crazy cannon drop strategy. But always fun to see something new and interesting. May not have worked out for the best, but it was certainly fun to watch. And I think with a 2-0 cap, the Tech Marine is going to have no chance to capture this point
You've
again
overdone it,
with those
sir.
2 fire prisms there. So, interesting game, lots of fun. Not necessarily the best play, but definitely interesting play nonetheless. The ghoul can't even approach those turrets still. And I'm not actually sure if you can retreat after your base is gone if you just go to your ally's base, or how that works exactly. I don't think I've ever actually been in this situation where my base was destroyed and I had an army left. So a nice looking, looks like that was a singularity that happened right there. Obliterating what little is left of Pottah's army. And there goes the last VP into the hands of the red team, and I think we're just going to see these last few VPs tick away now, as red team actually managed to miraculously seal the deal, because Pottah's gambits didn't quite pay off the way he had hoped, but almost did, all things considered. If he had played that first cannon drop a little bit better, he may have just been able to take out both bases immediately. So here comes some Terminators in the last moments. Bloodletters teleporting away, and
Won't be long, sir.
and there's the line right there, the defensive line of the red team, as the game counts down and
We
finishes
failed our
up.
mission.
So interesting gameplay. I know I've been saying interesting, but what can you say? When's the last time you've seen 5 Lord General turrets dropped twice in one game, and 3 fire prisms on the field for that matter? 3 fire prisms, 2 D cannons. Those VPs were never going to change hands at that point. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the game. This is Red-Rupee. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time.